Hi students, we're going to finish our Dr. Seuss Horton Hears a Who projects today.
Step 1.
Step 1 is to open the assignment by pressing the blue Open to Attach and Submit button here at the bottom.
Step 2.
And step 2 is to click on the file that you created last week, which has your name and Horton Hears a Who. When your project opens, it should have a background and the image that you chose that begins with the same letter that your name does. And I have put your picture in for you because I cropped out the background in PowerPoint since you don't have access to that this year.
Step 3.
For step 3, you're going to put in your word art and then make it pretty. Your word art needs to be your name, here's a whatever your object is, and then an exclamation point. We're going to make it look like the book title of Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who. So to put in word art, I'm going to click Insert, and about halfway down, I will choose Word Art. So obviously your name starts with a capital letter, the word here's is going to start with a capital. Then I have A, my object, which is a pig, and an exclamation point. So the word A is not capitalized. Also, keep in mind, if your name starts with a vowel, like Adam or Emma or Olivia, A, E, I, O, U are our vowels. In that case, your object would also start with a vowel, and you would need to use an instead of a. The directions tell me that I use Enter to put my word art in, and if I want it in more than one line, I can use Shift plus Enter. So if I wanted it in 2 lines, I hold Shift and press Enter, and that would make it in 2 lines for me. I'm going to put mine in 1 line. There we go. And also in step 3, it tells us to adjust the font style, size, color, and effects. So let's do those in order. Font style is first. My style is Arial. I'm going to pick another one. Maybe I want it cursive. That looks pretty cool. Then it says to adjust the size. When you're adjusting the size, this works the same as clip art does because word art is a word picture. So you can change the size with a corner just the same way you would with clip art. For the color, you want to use the paint bucket here, and you can also use the line color. So I want a color that's going to stand out against my border. I'm going to hit the paint bucket, and maybe I'll make it this deep purple so it coordinates with my background, but it'll show up here. So maybe something similar to that. That'll work. And then I can put a line around that as well. Maybe I want a pink line. I can make my own colors with this plus sign in custom. This shows what my color is, so I can adjust it up here. Maybe something like that. Can't really see my line yet, but if I change the border weight to make it thicker, then I can see it. And the last thing in step 3 is the effects. In format options, you have 2 really cool effects you can do. You can do shadows and reflections. So just feel free to play with those. The shadow lets you pick a background color for that shadow. So this is something that can really help your words pop out if they're blending into the background too much. See how I added a white shadow and my words popped? I'm going to undo that. There you can see it again. So that makes my words stand out more. So you can try some different colors, see what makes your words pop. You can adjust how transparent it is, the angle that it's at, how far away from the words it is, how blurry it is. Lots of things you can play with there to get your words to really stand out against the background. And then the other cool thing is this reflection. Reflection makes it look like it's in water. Again, you can adjust how transparent it is, the distance away it is, how big it is, all of those different types of things.
Step 4.
For step 4, we're going to arrange the pieces of our poster, and we want to apply those visual literacy skills that we've been working on ever since probably about first grade is when we first started on it. We want our words and images to stand out. We want them to be the focus of the work. We want them to fill the white space. Let me show you a few good examples. Actually, let's look at some poor examples and then how they were fixed. So here we have Morgan Here's a Mite. Her words are really blending into her background and it's not capitalized correctly. So in this one, the words stand out more and we have the correct capitalization. For Luke Here's the Lion, when we have one word by itself, that's not typically done. We use orphan and widow control. So we want to get that A moved down to the next line, and that would also not make it so close to his head. We also don't want the lion looking like it's falling out of his hand. We want it to sit on his hand. So this would be a better example. On this one, she wrote, Emma here's a eggplant, but it should be Emma here's an eggplant because her name is a vowel sound. We're also missing the exclamation point. And we can make those words bigger and fill the white space better. So this would be a better example. Haley, here's a hero. We have a bunch of empty white space at the top here, so we want to stretch her bigger to fill that white space. And here she also made her background a little bit more interesting. Michael, here's a motorcycle. Right now it looks like he's floating and he has his body cut off. So we want to make sure that we are filling the white space but not floating our bodies. So if I make him a little bit bigger, that will fill that better, and I can lower him so that he's not floating in midair. Something like that. And here we have the good example of Braden Here's a Baloney. So you can see we have a lot of different ways of arranging the word art. This was done in PowerPoint. You will not be able to do curving words like this. Your words will have to be straight, but you can have them in multiple lines. Like Haley put one in each line to fill a column here. You can have a few different lines, 2 lines, 1 line. It's completely up to you how you arrange it. Just think about how you're best going to fill your white space. So let me show you how I might arrange mine. I'm going to put my words at the top. They move just like clip art does. You just click on the line and drag them. I'm going to stretch mine out to fill a white space. On word art, it doesn't really matter if you stretch it. Obviously, I would never want to stretch a clip art image because if I do that, it's going to distort my image. So Control Z to zap that mistake. With clip art, you always want to resize with a corner. Okay, I don't want myself off the page. You can see my printable area here. So I'm going to move myself onto the page. I think I'm going to move myself a little bit lower in order to make myself larger. It's okay if I make my bottom part cut off there. I'm going to make my pig smaller to fit in my hand. And I don't like how the word reflection is covering my face and the image there, but I can rearrange that. So I'm going to click on my words and go to Arrange. You can adjust the order of any of your pieces to layer them differently. So I'm going to send my words backwards, and that put it behind the clip art. Let's do it again. Arrange, order, send backward, and that put it behind my face. So I can still have that cool reflection, but it's not covering my image. Something else you can do with Arrange is you can rotate your objects. So let's say that I was looking at the pig's butt and I did not want to do that. No big deal. You can arrange, rotate, and flip it horizontally to turn it around. You can also turn it just slightly with this dot here to position it to your hand better or wherever it is that your object is located. So step 4 is all about arranging to fill your white space, making sure that your words and image and everything stand out against the background and look the way you want it to. Check your printable area to make sure you have completed step 4.
Step 5.
And step 5 is simply to submit your work. When you're done, you hit the X to close out of it, and that'll bring you right back to Canvas where you can press the submit button. If you can't see the submit button because you accidentally closed out of it, repeat step number 1 by pressing the open to attach and submit, and that will allow you access to your submit button. So you'll simply hit submit and then submit here again. Once you see the green check mark, you know that I have your work and you are done.